Welcome to Xara template tutorial lesson number 38. In this Xara Web Designer 7 Premium tutorial, we'll be going over how to use the Accordion widget within the eye catchers folder within the Designs gallery. Now don't worry if you couldn't follow me on what I just said, because I'm going to walk you through the whole process of how to accomplish this. But before we get started, let me go ahead and make sure that I follow up on the promise that I made for the people that watch the support training tutorials. I promised that anyone that supported us financially for these Xara tutorials, that I would give a special thanks in the video for those who have done so. And in this case, we have our first subscriber, which would be Paul Horton. And I just want to say thank you very much, Paul Horton. I really appreciate you supporting our training tutorials. Without you, this video would not be taking place. So anyone that's watching this video, you owe a special thanks to Paul Horton, because he's the reason that this video is being made. He made a $25 donation to support these training tutorials. So now that that's out the way, well, before I go forward, I just want to mention, if you do make a donation, make sure that you include your name, or if you or I shouldn't say donation, if you make any payments to support these training videos, make sure that you put your name in that particular payment that you make, so that I can give a special thanks to you in our training tutorials. So let's go ahead and get started and go over this particular tutorial now that I've got that finished. The first thing you want to do is make sure that you go ahead and start a blank new document in the Xara Web Designer 7 Premium software. Once you do that, you're going to go to the Designs gallery in the upper right hand corner of your screen, and that'll be over here. And if you left click on that, it'll bring out the Designs gallery. If you don't see that tab over here for the Designs gallery, make sure you go to Utilities in your upper left hand corner of your screen and go to Galleries and look for the Designs Gallery option. Make sure that it has a checkbox by it. And if you're not keeping up with me in this tutorial, I highly recommend that you go back and watch all the previous tutorials if you haven't, because they will give you insight into how to do this. That's why I'm moving very fast in this video, because I've already covered how to get to this menu and how to turn it on. But if you don't have a checkbox there by the Designs gallery, make sure that you left click on it so that it does. And if you do have that checkbox there, you should see Designs gallery over here. And once you open up the Designs gallery, click the thumbtack to lock that menu. And once you lock that menu, we're going to look for the Widgets folder. And you'll see a folder that says Widgets, Forms, and More. And once you find that folder, left click on it, and it'll bring down a sub menu that says Eye Catcher. And that's the Eye Catcher folder that I was talking about before in the beginning of this tutorial, when I talked about the things that we would cover. So we're inside the Designs gallery, inside the Widgets folder, and then the sub menu Eye Catcher folder. And once you're in this folder, you're going to use the scroll bar to your right to scroll through and look at the different types of widgets within the Eye Catcher folder. The one that you're going to be looking for is called Easy Accordion, and it should be the first one in your folder, and it should have this kind of picture there. It's a small little thumbnail that looks like an accordion, and you'll see the text below it that says Easy Accordion for the title. And once you find this particular image that has the Easy Accordion under it, you're going to left click and drag it into your workspace. And as you drag it into your workspace, you'll see that there's a small little cursor next to your regular mouse cursor. And that's just indicating that you're about to drop this widget into your workspace. And once you have it positioned where you want, you can let go of your left click mouse button, and it will drop it into your workspace. And you can move it around and reposition it how you want by left clicking and dragging it where you want this to be. So left click and drag it wherever you want it in your workspace, and once you get it into position, you'll let go of your left click mouse button. And before we move any further forward, I'm going to go ahead and close my Designs gallery by clicking the thumbtack in the upper right hand corner of the panel, and that will hide that panel away back to where it was before. And to edit this particular accordion widget, you would double left click on it. So double left click on any part of this widget. It doesn't matter where it could be over the text panel part of it where it says title text. It could be over the heading text. I mean, anywhere within this widget that you double left click. it's going to put you in edit mode. So double left click on that, and when you double left click, you'll notice that a new screen pops up and you have a new view, and this is an edit view. And if you look at the top of the menu here, you'll see that you have a tab now called Easy Accordion and then _2. It may say _1 depending on how many of these widgets that you have open at a given time. In my case, it's showing number 2 because previously I had Easy Accordion open before number 2. But don't worry if you don't understand it. That's not important. What's important is that you're in edit mode, and the way that you'll know that you're in edit mode is that you see Easy Accordion written in this tab. Now if you go to the previous tab and you left click on it, it'll bring up the original screen for when we weren't in edit mode, and you'll notice that it's in the same positioning that it was before. So this is the original screen, but when we double left click on it, it brought up this Easy Accordion tab. So just remember, when you double left click on it, it'll open up a new tab which will put you in edit mode. So now that we've got that out the way, the first thing that you'll notice when you're in edit mode is that you get some instructions, and by default Xara will give you a series of instructions that will guide you through how to edit these slides in edit mode. So let's go ahead and read through that. Easy Accordion. This widget supports between 1 and 5 slides, and what it means by that is that you can have a maximum of 5 slides, and each of these sections that you see here represents a specific slide. And in each slide you'll have title text, and you'll have heading text, and then you'll have a paragraph, and then you'll have the ability to add a link. And if you go through any of these slides, you'll see in slide number 2 here that we have the title text, the heading text, and then the paragraph and a link. And I forgot to mention, we also have a picture there as well. And you'll have a total of 5 of these. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. A total of a maximum of 5 slides. So let's go to the next part. Each page represents a slide, and unlike items on each page can be changed. And that was the items that I just mentioned: the title text, the heading text, the paragraph, the link, and the picture. And then if you go to step number 1, it says edit the title text, the heading text, and the main panel text using the text tool. And that was talking about the elements that I just mentioned to you previously. So let's go to our toolbar and left click on the text tool. And if you click in the heading text, you'll see that you get that red line, which is the column text. So if we decrease this, you'll see that it pushes the text on the next line. Or if you leave it longer, you'll be able to have a longer heading text. Let's go ahead and change that text, and I'll call it the Xara tutorial. And we'll say tutorial number 38. So the Xara tutorial 38. And we'll change this text to something else. You can make it whatever you want. And left click and drag in that. And I'm going to hit Control V to replace it with my personal text that I already copied. But let's say that you didn't have text that you wanted to paste in here. You can just write in whatever you want by left clicking and highlighting it and say, this tutorial will cover how to edit the Accordion widget. And you can have in there whatever text is actually relevant. So that's how you change the paragraph text. And if you wanted to change the title text, the same process will follow. You would highlight the text, and then you would call it whatever you want. And I'll write the 38th Xara tutorial. And that's how you change the text for the title text. So now you know how to change all the text for any of your slides now. And if you want to change the link, you could change the name of the link by highlighting it and giving it whatever name you want. So you could make it www.xaratemplate.com, if you wanted to change the link text. Now it's very important that you change where this link is linking to. So I would left click on that text, and then I would go to web properties, and then under your web properties you'll make sure that you're under the link tab, and once you're under the link tab you'll look for the option that says link to web or email address, and you're going to want to change that to your specific email address. So in this case I would write www.xaratemplate.com, and you would replace that with whatever your .com is. And once you're finished changing that, you would hit apply and hit OK. And this now would link to our website because I changed the text. Because I changed the link in the web properties. Now you can make this whatever you want. We could call it, we could name it template.com, but that's not really the name of the site. Or you can say, actually a better way to put it would be our website. Maybe you named it our website as the text. It doesn't have to read www.xaratemplate. It could be whatever text you want, but it's still going to link to whatever we set it in the web property. So if you right click on that and go to web properties, you'll see that in your web properties it's still set to xaratemplate.com. So it's not important what you set this text to. You don't have to write it as the .com. You could just write our website. What really matters is that you have the proper link set in your web properties. So whatever you set it to here, that's what it's going to actually link to, not what you have the text set to on your workspace. And again, just to emphasize that even though I wrote our website here, if you right click and go to web properties, it's the link that you have set in your web properties is what's going to matter, which is the www.xaratemplate.com. So after you had to apply that and hit OK and have that set, let's now go over how to change the picture in your slide. So let's go to the selection tool in the toolbar, and we're going to deselect any gray space off to the side so that we deselect that link that we had selected at first. The next thing we're going to do is go over how to change that picture. So let's go to our start menu if you're in Windows XP, and then go to My Pictures. And when you go to My Pictures, you'll see a sample pictures folder. Double left click on that, and we're going to drag one of these images on top of this picture. So I'm going to take the water lilies and I'm going to left click and drag it on top of that picture, and you'll see that it replaces it. And now that I've replaced that, I'm going to close out my pictures folder and go back to your selection tool in the toolbar, and you'll notice that you'll be able to move this picture wherever you want it. You can move it over here, you can move it up here, just like normally in the previous videos that you learned about. And you can resize it by dragging one of the corner nodes, and if you left click and drag, you can make it bigger or smaller. And once you do that, let's go ahead and hit the close tab for this particular panel. So you'll see where it says easy accordion. You're going to close this tab out. We're basically going to close out of edit mode. So left click on that, and you'll get a prompt saying, do you want to save your changes to easy accordion _2? So it's asking you, do you want to save the changes that we just made to this particular slide? And you're going to want to save them. So let's hit save. And now you'll see that those changes that we made were updated in the normal mode for this particular widget. And you'll see that we can't edit by clicking on the text, or if we even if we select the text tool and we try to click on any of these elements, it won't allow us to edit them because we're no longer in edit mode for this widget. And it's very important that you understand that for widgets you have to be in edit mode to edit them. You cannot edit it in the normal view that you edit your regular part of your website. Like for example, we can still draw squares, we can still write text in our workspace, but for widgets, in order to edit them, you have to double left click them and go in edit mode. And now if you select the text tool, you'll be able to edit this text. So I'll show you that one more time. Let's close this out, and you can see that I cannot edit the text here. It'll only put new text on top of it because we're not in edit mode. So anytime you want to edit a widget, you have to be in edit mode. And the way that you go in edit mode is you double left click on it. And then if you select the text tool and select this text, you'll be able to add or delete information within the Accordion widget. So make sure you're in edit mode or you won't be able to actually edit your widget. So now that you know how to change this information, I'm not going to show you how to do that on the next slide. It's the same process. So like for example, if you wanted to change any of the text in this slide, you would select the text, and you can select all the text by hitting Control A and then changing it to whatever you want to. And I'm just going to make up fictitious information here just to show you that you can change that information. And again, the way that I'm selecting all the text is by hitting Control A after I select it with the text tool. So if I want to select all this text, I will hit Control A after selecting it. If I want to change all this text, I will select it first with the left click mouse button and then hit Control A, and it will select all that text, and I can write in whatever information I want. And again, the same way that you change your picture is by simply dragging in the picture on top of this original one, just like we did in the previous slide. And again, I'm not going to show you that because you should already know how to do that since I showed you already. But I do want to show you one thing. You'll notice that you can't change the title text that's here. And if you double left click on it, it won't do anything. Even if you select the text tool and try to change it, it won't let you do so. And the reason for that is because this title text here is actually for the first slide. That's why it's kind of in a grayed out mode is what I would call it. It doesn't allow you to edit because we've already made the text for that slide. And if you scroll down to the third slide, you'll see that you can't edit any of these first two titles because those first two titles belong to slide number 1 and slide number 2. And I'm hoping that you catch what I'm saying here. Basically, this title text for this first panel is already taken up. And if you don't understand it, I'll show you what I mean in the preview mode. Let's go ahead and close this out again and hit save. And let's go ahead and go to File, Preview, Website. And if you look at this slide, you'll see that now it says the 38th Xara tutorial. And I'm going to left click back on it, and you'll see it says the Xara tutorial 38. This tutorial will cover how to edit the Accordion widget. And then it has our website link, and it has the picture. And if you go to the next one, it has the fictitious data that I wrote in, which would be that second tab. And one thing you'll notice is that it also has the fictitious text that I have here, and it has the Xara.com link in the same picture. And so what I meant by the first tab here is already taken up. So now that we're in this second view here with the fictitious data, if we were in edit mode, this would say title text here where it has the 38th Xara tutorial, and in the second one it would have the fictitious data. So hopefully you caught what I meant there. If you're not understanding, don't worry, just send me a message and I'll do my best to help you to understand whatever part you're not understanding. So let's go ahead and double left click on this and go back in edit mode, and you'll see that the first one has the 38th Xara tutorial, and it has all the other text that we have in the same picture in our website. And then on the next slide it has the fictitious data that I wrote in. And if you wanted to edit the next slide, you would double click on the text that you want to edit, which in this case is the title text in my case, and you would change it to whatever you want. Or alternatively, if you didn't want to double left click on it, you could just go to the text tool, left click on that, hit Control A, and change it to whatever you want. And change the text to whatever you want here. So I think you get the point. I just went through this a lot because I want to make sure that people that aren't understanding it get the general idea. And once you're done making your edits, well, I want to show you one more time how to change the picture. If you didn't catch that, go to Start, My Pictures, go to your Sample Pictures folder, and we're going to drag in Blue Hills this time over that original picture, and it will change that picture if you did it just how I did it. And let's close this out, hit save, and let's go to File, Preview Website. And if you're not able to file with this tutorial, make sure you're watching all the previous tutorials, because some of these actions I have repeated multiple times, which is why I'm going through them quickly. But if you go to the third slide, you'll see that it now has that new Blue Hills picture that I placed in, and it has the fictitious data that I added. So that should help you with adding your own information and opening and editing the accordion widget and modifying it to look how you want it to. And there is one other thing I want to show you actually. So let's go back in edit mode. If you left click on that picture and you choose the fill tool, you can change the direction of the picture just like you did before. So if you wanted to rotate it around and make it larger or smaller, you can still do that just like before in a previous tutorial that I showed you. So if we close this out and hit save and go to file, preview, website, you'll see that once it previews it, it shows the picture just how we modified it. So I hope this tutorial was helpful in showing you how to open and edit and modify and preview the accordion widget. If it wasn't helpful, let me know and I will do my best to assist you further. And if you did enjoy this video and it was helpful, definitely give us a thumbs up. And thanks again, Paul Horton. You are our first supporter for the Xara training tutorials. Your help is very much appreciated, and because of you this video was made, so you guys owe a special thanks to Paul Horton. And I hope that we get plenty more people that support us in these training tutorials by going to our website and making a payment for the tutorials. And if you don't know how to do that, I'll add a link in this video that will allow you to go directly to that video to find out how you can support us for these training videos. So thanks again, and I hope that you stay tuned for future tutorials. And if we get any supporters, just like Paul Horton, I definitely will be making future tutorials. So make sure you support us, and if you do, I will be making another tutorial every time someone supports us. So thanks again for viewing the Xara template tutorials.